1, we explored what it takes to be a great suit. To be a great suit means to develop and improve relationships with clients. A great suit is another name for someone who manages clients and manages a number of relations. Within this week, we discovered that mistakes in the industry happen, however, it's how you handle that mistake is what matters most. This week, we touched briefly on the pitch and what every PR, advertising and design agency does to win new clients. Within the lecture pods, it is said that the best pitchers go above and beyond and clearly done their homework. This is relevant as it develops the understanding of what is expected from a client and what the best pitchers do in order to succeed. Within week 2, we explored the concept of using creativity to fill your thinking. Creativity is one of the most important commodities in modern technology today, and having a creative idea will most likely help you succeed as it is one of the main key factors within many industries. This week's lectures pods focused on Jack Smith and John Dawson from Mindshare. This related to the pitch as it showed how being inspired and discovering new ways to apply creative thinking will help the pitch be unique and show a creative element within. This shows the team that there is an importance of pushing boundaries and thinking outside the square. This is week 3, and during week 3 we focused on managing projects. The lecture pods explain that our role in this working environment requires us to promote a new product line, launch an event or redesign a logo. Within this, you will need to work on the same phases. These phases include planning, getting the team together and allocating tasks, implementing and finalising and evaluating the end result. This week applies to our project as we've begun to plan it and start to figure out what exactly we wanted to focus on, choosing a social issue and finding a technology-based idea that will work well with this social issue. Within this week, we started defining the project, writing the project goal and applying the project summary statement. This was a useful week as it got us working as a team and applying creative thinking to create an initiative idea.
This week is week 4, and our project summary statement is due at the end of this week. This week's lecture covered the last part of the statement: constraints, risks, and assumptions. In relation to our project, we looked at the constraints and risks that our team could face and how to minimize the impact, and also the assumptions that are expected as a team. The lecture also covered how to fill in the work breakdown structure spreadsheet. This was one of my tasks within the project. As a team, we broke down the project and planned who does what task and when to complete it by, and my job was to correctly fill it out. This week is week 5. The lecture covered how to be more efficient and how to manage and record meetings. We use strategies like having a to-do list to prioritize tasks required to help us work more efficiently as a team. The lecture also discovers how to complete the work in progress document. We used this opportunity to make sure our document was filled out correctly and planned ahead so each of us know what to do in future tasks in relation to the project. This week is week 6. The lecture covered how to manage difficult relationships, approaches to take to deal with difficult types of people, and the 10 most challenging personalities. In relation to our project, you realise that people have different approaches to things and a different way to work and complete each task. But to overcome this, you have to find a way to all work together to get the project done correctly and on time.
Today I am covering week 7 and 8. So in week 7 this week, we covered the steps that you need to take to being proactive. This week we were put in a position of being an account manager. We needed to first understand how the value in our role is measured. Then we needed to take time to think of the strategies and tactics to achieve above and beyond. This week we looked at how value is commonly measured in a role and where your focus should be as an account manager. We discussed ways that you can be proactive. In the readings this week, we touched on the Japanese concept of Kaizen and how that relates to being more proactive. And we got to listen to one of the most innovative and proactive entrepreneurs of all time, Richard Branson. So this was actually helpful to our overall project, as it gave us all a guideline to understand time management a lot better, and it taught us all how to work together in getting our video pitches done earlier so we can all edit them in the later weeks. We went through so many ups and downs throughout our assignment, from changing our technology a number of times to finding the right client for our target audience. However, we did overcome these barriers by simply applying what we learned in week 8 this week by the guest lecturer. We learned how to move through these stages of a challenge from emotion, threat, expectation, preparation to commitment. We learned how to change your perspective in order to overcome these barriers. And lastly, we actually learned how to reframe why you should be more proactive and why you should take more initiative in how to invest in yourself. We actually applied these learnings to our overall project through better managing our time as a team and scheduling more group meetings to get our assignment done earlier, so then we had more time for editing and looking over things and making sure we're ready for our pitch.
This week's content was a documentary. It followed 2 agencies as they prepared and delivered a pitch to a potential client. So this helped us prepare for our pitch that will be delivered in week 12. It allowed us to gain an inside view of the pitching process and understand how the processes work together to deliver a winning pitch. It also displayed the importance of everyone contributing and collaborating to deliver an effective final product. We applied these learnings this week to finalise our pitch video and edit it to be the most effective. And in planning our presentation, that will be due in 2 weeks' time as best we can. This week's content related to persuasive presentations. We were able to identify the power of being persuasive and changing influencer behaviour, or in our case, effectively pitching a product to a client, as effective communication is now a job requirement as said in the lecture. So the lecture pods allowed us to learn new techniques to become a more persuasive and memorable speaker. It provided us examples of how Steve Jobs presents and outlined some of his techniques. We applied these techniques into our group meetings with brainstorming and planning, and then further in rehearsals as we ran through a mock pitch and began planning persuasive techniques to apply our responses to the potential questions we may have to answer when we are presenting next week. It further allowed us to understand the importance of strong visuals. We use these in editing and finalising our infographics and pitch video and our presentation slides. So we decided to keep all of these simple in order to be more effective and clear when delivering our message as outlined through the lecture. Further, there was a TED Talk link this week. This one allowed us to become more aware of powerful speakers and outlined what they do to stress a point. So the speaker also reminded us that the only way to spread important ideas is to make sure the one communicating her ideas is effectively using strong presentation skills. So this information altogether was integral in developing our persuasive presentation techniques, and it will assist us in providing the best pitch possible in class next week.